Hello, this is Martin Brossman, and today I have with me Heather O. Explain the new timeline. Heather, if we'll start here on your page. Heather, when we look at the timeline, you see a big picture there and a small picture. Mm-hmm. It looks quite different. Would you describe what they've done?
Well, basically, they've just reformatted the appearance of your page, or your wall, if you will. So you do have the larger picture at the top now. Then the other photos and comments and things like that were always on your wall before are just there in a different format now.
So all your stuff from the past is here, just organized on a timeline.
Yep.
That's all they did. They just took your content and reorganized it. So many people are freaking out, wondering, why is my stuff there, right?
Yep.
Well, it's just now all chronological in time.
Right.
So that's the key thing. And then, so we have the main picture, and then if we scroll over here, let's see, the change cover. So you can change the cover. Talk about some of the settings they give you in that.
Well, basically, you can either choose from photos that you've already uploaded on Facebook, or you can upload a photo from your computer, or you can reposition the one that's there. The thing to remember is that it has to be a pretty large photo, and obviously it has to be wider than it is tall. And then once you upload it, it does give you the opportunity to reposition it, move it up and down and things as you need to. Excellent.
And then over here is the profile photo that you can put on as well. And when you hover, it gives a little edit box too.
Right.
This is analogous to the wall that people are familiar with, isn't it?
Yep.
And you post on it, and then friends can too.
Sure. So
if somebody has never seen the wall before, let's just take the best analogy I saw was in the social network. When I saw the dorm room and realized he had a bulletin board next to it. And I went, that's a great way to describe it. That's probably how he came up with it, if there was something equivalent. It's like your personal bulletin board.
Absolutely.
That you could put photos on, or somebody else could, right?
Right, absolutely.
And the wonderful thing is, explain how, if somebody posts something you don't like, how can you take it off your timeline now versus your wall?
Well, you can go over here if you want to resize it, first of all. And I think,
and then make it like full screen. So you go, this is so important, I want the world to see it.
Yep, and then if you want to hide it or delete it, then you would just go over here to the little pencil and do that.
And if it's someone else's post, you could also report it. Now, wait, there's something else in there. Look at that little next thing, change date. Isn't that interesting, right?
Yep, so that would help for you to get pictures to appear in the appropriate places, for example, on your timeline. And if you want to add the location, you could do that too. Because if you look over here, it's going to go back as far as there's content, not necessarily as far back as you've been a member, because you could add photos from...
Of course, I guess it assumes everyone was born, not hatched, so they start with born.
Exactly.
And then you and I were talking about it, so I started playing. Would you go over to mine and added a few in the past? So we'll go to my personal. Right there. Do you see? I started putting something in the 80s, so click that and we'll see. And what I added here was my IBM Service Award. I just went out and took a picture of it and play with it and scroll a little further. And then I favorited it, so it made it double wide, and now it's in this time period. What was interesting is when I uploaded it, it gave me a date location, and it didn't immediately go there. So I had to go into the picture and move it there, and then earlier pictures. And then I put something at my birth. Would you go down there and see? Oh, it's my first journal entry. So you could have some fun with this.
Yeah.
And you and I discussed, this is, you go, well, why is Facebook doing it? Well, because they want more of our lives in it, because then they can sell to it. And we can either choose to accept that or not, right?
Right. Well, and I think the population has proven to Facebook that people like to share what's going on in their lives. I mean, you see people do it every day. They get married, they have a baby, they do this, they do that. The first thing they want to do is post it on Facebook. And so I think it's great for people like myself who have never really been great scrapbookers. Now I don't have to be. It's all right here.
And now we still can see what our friends are doing, the news feed or the feed there. And so if you'd show yours, so we get to this, of course, reminding people by clicking our name.
Right.
That's our wall, now our timeline. And then what do we click to see the other? Okay, Facebook or home. Both will do that. Great.
Yep. And then I think, and one of the biggest differences that is fairly recent is that you have the choice between having top stories and most recent stories in your feed. Top stories are supposedly stories that have had the most comments.
Well, one of the things I think they're still pulling in is that thing of affinity towards with the top story. Would you go to top story? And this is so important you're pointing this out because this is the default setting for most people.
It is.
So they aren't getting what's the most current thing with both their friends and the businesses they like. They're getting what Facebook is choosing, that from the level of engagement, affinity towards, time and date is worthy of them as news. So that's why you like to see what's the most recent.
Right. Well, and I think, Facebook has the ability, obviously, to measure a whole variety of different things. And one of the things that they measure is how often you interact with certain people. So they assume that you want to see more from the people that you interact with more. And I think for a lot of people that's true, but I haven't found it to necessarily be that accurate. I have people that I interact with a lot that aren't necessarily showing up in the top news. So I prefer to keep it with the most recent.
Excellent. Heather, would you go into the privacy settings here? This is important for people to know where it was. It's in the upper right-hand corner, right? And then there's a little down arrow, and it's called privacy settings. And you can set the privacy on it. And it's important to know. There it is. Excellent. Tell them what you've chosen here. You've chosen friends, right?
Yeah, so basically the things that I post on my Facebook page will be visible to friends. You can set it to where it's open to the public, or you can do custom settings, and you can have it just visible to friends or specific lists, or if you want to have lists of people that you don't want to see things, you can do that as well. So
you can customize it here, but you also can customize per post with
yes.
little settings underneath the post. So if you scroll down and let them see it, how we connect, how people can tag you, that's a big concern about being tagged. And then access of the apps in case you're worried you signed up for an app, right, that you shouldn't have. And then limiting past post. What we've done is we've gone over the timeline. We'll go up to, I just want to bring back to the home quick of the timeline. So we'll click here. Heather O, we see your wonderful timeline with your photos. And invite people to start getting into it. If you don't have the timeline, it's going to roll out no matter what.
Yeah, it'll be, you will have it eventually, whether you want it or not. So.
And if you want to go ahead and sign up, bite the bullet and get it, if you go facebook.com/timeline, and it tells you a little bit about it and videos, and when you scroll down, there'll be an option near the bottom. Since you have the timeline, you won't be given this option, but it'll show you the friends already have it and let you sign up for it. It's time to just get it. I mean, if you don't like it, you can always go to Google Plus or something.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, and it's, whether doesn't necessarily make people happy, but I often have to remind people that Facebook is free. I think that the important thing, like I said, is to remember that they're not putting anything on your page that you didn't already put there.
Great point. It's just really a reformatting of your content with it, and it's real clear. They want you to invest your whole life in it because you won't leave as quick. I think it's pretty obvious. You can either choose to do that or not. Heather, how can they reach you if they want to get up with you, because you've been kind enough to come over and we went over this, your location?
Yeah, well, my web address is heathero.com. And then on Facebook, my business page is Real Heathero, facebook.com/realheathero.
Excellent. And then you can find both me as well as facebook.com Martin W. Brossman, or Brossman, Brossman, on fb.com. So wouldn't you say look forward to hearing from people on it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm happy to answer questions. And
great. Well, thanks, Heather. This completes it, and we'll see you guys online. Make sure to post a comment below this video if you liked it.